What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 74, and we start today's episode off with a couple of international friendlies with America. As I've already mentioned a couple of times, with the USA, it's not even really a project because we're not doing anything with them, and I've mentioned a couple of times I have been thinking about just resigning from the national team and just letting it go, but I don't know, I always feel it is handy to have an international management job under your belt as well, because, when the tournaments come around, they can be quite fun to play if you choose to play them, and even if you don't, you're always going to have scout reports on the players from that nation. So as we mentioned before, this one with America, there's only one we've been interested in really, which is Yedlin, but it's still nice to have it. And as we drew with Mexico and then beat South Africa, we're not really that bothered about it, but it's still worth showing you what happens anyway. And I probably will resign eventually because we're not really doing anything. It just seems a bit pointless, but it's still nice to get those scout reports, I guess, and just have something else to show you guys in the videos. But still, we take on Liverpool for the first game of today's episode here at the Hawthorns, and of course we come on the back of that international break, but we also come on the back of that 3-0 victory against Fulham in midweek, well, the midweek before last week, if that makes sense. And the weekend, our last game at the Hawthorns saw us lose 4-1. Our first home defeat of the year. We got battered by Everton. We just really did not play very well at all. I was all over the place, really. We then dropped a lot of players, and then we won 3-0 against Fulham in midweek. Niang, of course, scoring a hat-trick. First goal since, like 7 games out. So that was great to see. But, we then went back to those original players, and this is how I work as a career mode player. Brown today, for example, got dropped against Fulham, and, Ings and Niang worked well as a partnership. But Ade was back in the team. Everyone played this game, our regular first 11, apart from Carrillo, who was a little bit tired, and that's the point. I'm willing to put these guys back in the side and give them chances. And Brown today, well, it's another sitter for the guy. 11 minutes in, he misses a great chance. Hasn't scored in a couple of games now, and that's, for a guy who is on course to be Golden Boot as things stand in the league, that's kind of frustrating. But that was a real chance for him to make it 1-0, and he didn't. So maybe it's time I gave Berahino a run in the first team. Who knows? Even if Brown today is currently our top scorer, but still, we then saw Liverpool hit the bar there from the shot from just outside the area. So both teams having very fast starts to this game, but no goals on the scoreboard so far. But in the 36th minute, Niang makes mincemeat out of Sacco as he beats him, cuts inside with a ball roll, then a fake shot to beat Skirtle, and again it's another sitter, this time coming through Niang, and it's still 0-0. So no goals in the first half despite some very good chances for both sides. But in the 69th minute we come through with Niang, who takes on Skirtle, and Skirtle had a nightmare of a night here last season in the Europa League quarter-finals, Europa League round of 16, when Liverpool came to the Hawthorns. He had a nightmare night here. It was all over the place, and again it's another mistake by Liverpool's centre-back as Niang goes through. He seems to win the ball back and then get it caught between his feet. Niang robs him of possession, fake shots around Sacco, the last man, and finishes the ball nicely. So it's his 4th goal in 2 games. So finally Niang is starting to come good, and it is 1-0. But really, Skirtle should have got the danger clear when he had the chance. But in the 76th minute, Liverpool had the ball in the back of the net, and it came through Mario Balotelli, but Super Mario was disallowed the goal because he strayed offside, and he was miles offside, absolutely miles offside. Rodriguez stepping up in line, and Balotelli did not. So it is still West Brom 1, Liverpool 0. And in the 90th minute here, we're in stoppage time. It was still 1-0. We felt as though we'd done enough to secure the 3 points, but as Pogba gets on the ball and finds Sacco here, Liverpool keep the chance alive. They play really good possession football on this game. It's hard to get the ball off them. And, well, Sacco scores one of the goals of the series, at least for my opponents. And what a goal it is by Liverpool defender. Now, I looked up his FUT head card. I swear he's got like 20 for volleys and like 23 for finishing, or something like that. And he's just scored an absolute wonder goal. Absolutely incredible goal by the French defender. He swiveled, he turned on a sixpence, and on a half volley with his left foot, smashed it in the top corner at the near post. It's an incredible goal. There's nothing that Foster can do about it. And Liverpool nick a point and will take it back to Anfield in stoppage time. It is just absolutely outrageous. What a goal by Sacco. His stats should never see him do something like that, but it's one of those moments, and I'm sure you guys had them in career mode as well, where you watch that happen, your opponent score a wonder goal like that for a player who, let's be honest, should not be doing something like that, and you just put the controller down, take a deep breath and say, well, there's literally nothing I can do about that, is there? Absolutely incredible goal by Sacco, and we throw away 2 points in stoppage time, and unfortunately, I guess I will take the blame for poor defending, but really, that was just an incredible goal. It was just a moment of magic, and you just have to take your hat off and say, well done, son. So, West Brom 1, Liverpool 1. Frustrated not to get the 3 points like we should have done, but at least it was a good performance. And, you know, had my finishing been better, we would have got that win. But that's just one of those lessons you've got to learn from. And we take on Stoke City for the second game of today's episode here as we travel to the Britannia Stadium. And we take on Stoke, and we felt very confident coming up against Mark Hughes' men. And, you know, I didn't really feel the need to drop players for this game either. I really didn't. So Carrillo came back in for Wellington Silva, who started the game last weekend. And we stuck faith with 10 of those 11 players. Of course, Carrillo coming back in is the only change. So 10 of those 11 players starting this game because I felt we had such a good game against Liverpool, and had my finishing been better, we definitely would have won it. So I knew that in this game, if we played just half as good as we did against Liverpool, we should really be able to get the win if my finishing is better. But still, in the 12th minute, we did indeed see Stoke City go down to 10 men, and it was Jonathan Walters getting himself a straight red card for a rash challenge on Kyle Walker. And even at the time, I knew it was going to be a red card because this was a cynical challenge. Walker wins the ball back. He's 90 yards from Stoke's goal. Why on earth Walters is going in from behind like that? I've got no idea. That is a cynical challenge. It's a definite red card, and I have no idea what on earth Jonathan Walters was thinking there. So Stoke down to 10 men very early on, and interestingly enough, they brought on Bojan from the bench, the former Barcelona player, and took off Jeff Cameron. And I was like, really? You know, you're going to take off your right back and bring on a forward player, an offensive player? Why on earth would you do that? I mean, that is really bold from Mark Hughes, to say the least. It really is. I mean, I know they're going to have less chance of scoring goals going down to 10 men and losing a forward player, but even so, you're taking off your right back. That is going to sacrifice, that is going to really put your defence under a lot of pressure. And, well, it did, because we just worked the space in this game as easy as you like. And in the 49th minute here, the score was still 1-0. In the first half, I just got to grips with the way Stoke were playing. Now they were down to 10 men. And I knew I'd eventually take the lead once I just managed to put my foot on the gas and then went forward enough times, because in the first half I just passed the ball around really and tried to figure out how Stoke were going to approach this game. Now they were down to 10 men, and because they had essentially 3 at the back, all their players were just pushed in narrowly, and they weren't really sort of, I guess the best way to explain it was that the fullbacks, there was only one fullback on the pitch now, that was Muniesa at left back, and they were just closing in and going narrow, and it just wasn't working for them. So all I had to do was just keep on going down the wing, cutting inside, and I'd probably grab myself a couple more goals. And we did make it 2-0 through Repaying in the 58th minute. He cut inside really nicely after we went down the left, then inside, and that made it 2-0, and that was going to be the strategy for the rest of the game. They had 3 defenders on the pitch and no right back. It was just going to be so easy to exploit that, and that's exactly what we were doing. So Stoke City 0, West Bromwich Albion 2. And in the 60th minute here, you see Stoke get on the ball with Nzonzi. The midfielder gets onto the ball here, takes it around Jordan Henderson and finds his man. Quick little 1-2 there. The strike is made, but it's a good save by Ben Foster, and we clear the ball away. And from that, we go on a counter-attack here. And you can see Stoke on the mini-map on the radar there. Only 3 defenders back. And all we had to do was get ourselves inside with some good passing, some good play. And eventually, we cut ourselves inside with Savanier taking on Ireland, crossing the ball in. It's headed away before Malumbu can get it, but it falls to Ade, who plays it into Malumbu. Short cross is not tight enough to his man, and Yusuf Malumbu makes it Stoke 0, West Bromwich Albion 3. We celebrate in front of the travelling fans, and it was just so routine. It really was. I have no idea what the AI manager Mark Hughes' mentality or game plan was. It really wasn't. Why take off a right back and not replace him? Because your defence is just going to get sliced open down the left hand side, and that's exactly what was happening. For the goals we were scoring, most of the play was coming from down his left hand side, and again you can see Savanier finding Niang. Niang back out to Savanier here. Wilkinson, who came off the bench, was trying to make up for what Stoke's poor tactics were. And as Savanier gets on the ball, he finds Brown Ade, and Ade makes it 4-0. And it was just routine because Wilkinson came on to try and stop the rot and from us going down the left-hand side. But even he was out of position 9 times out of 10. And as Ade went forward there one-on-one, well, he was never going to miss. An assist for Savanier, and Brown Ade getting himself back on the score sheet. So Stoke City 0, West Brom 4, and in the 73rd minute here, Carrillo plays the ball forward towards Niang. Niang takes on Wilkinson here, beats him with the Berber spin, cuts inside and shoots, but the shot goes wide and out for a goal kick. And again, my finishing, I've got to work on that, I really do. That should have been 5-0, but As you can see here, Stoke would actually manage to claw themselves a consolation goal here, and well, funnily enough, it came through Bojan, the man who came on for Jeff Cameron. And it's like, you know, Mark is probably sitting there thinking, that's why I brought on Bojan, that's why I brought on Bojan. Oh yeah, we're 4-0 down, you know, it's ridiculous, it really is. So yeah, sure, he got the goal, well done for bringing him on, but so what, you were 4-0 down by the time he scored the goal. So 4-0 to West Brom, sorry, 4-1 to West Brom, sorry. And in the 85th minute here, we score an absolutely lovely goal to make it 5-1. Savanier down the left hand side drills in a cross. Brownaday back heels it first time into the path of Niang, and Niang first time finesses the ball into the bottom corner, gets his second goal of the game, and he is the repaying the faith right now as well. He really is. That is now 5 goals in 2 games. Sorry, 6 goals in 3 games even, and he is looking very good now. That's the Niang of last season. It really is. He had a poor run of form of like 6 or 7 games without a goal, but now he's starting to perform really well, and it's starting to prove that it was worth not dropping him. So Stoke 1, West Brom 5, and in the 90th minute it should have and could have been 6 here. The shot by Niang was saved by Begovic and cleared away when I really could have dribbled in and had a simple finish. But 5-1 the final score. A really routine performance, made easy by Stoke's terrible tactic change in the 12th minute after Jonathan Walters got sent off and they went down to 10 men. But still a great performance, mainly Niang, again, repaying the faith right now, exactly why I kept him in the side. And yeah, a good result here against Stoke. Great to bounce back after that draw, disappointing draw against Liverpool, and hopefully now we can get a good run of wins going and keep us in a really good position in the league. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.